Okay, so I want to go through some things about statistics in general and also this class, what it's going to look like. So one of the things I think people naturally believe is that stats is just a subfield of math, that it's really just one type of math. And that's what I thought, honestly, when I started teaching statistics. And I even taught it, it is possible to teach it full of formulas and everything is really just based around the math part of it. But as I went on and I really got into statistics and the all that it has to offer, I got further and further away from that view and more into this type of view where, yeah, there's some overlap now and then. It's mostly middle school math, like some percentages, addition, subtraction, multiplication, but nothing really too heavy in the math area. In terms of what I think is the most important parts of statistics that we're going to focus on here, or that even in a few more advanced applications of statistics. Now, if you get really heavy into statistics, yeah, there is some pretty high level math involved there. But for what we're doing, the connection will be pretty minimal. It won't feel like a math class, I don't think, because there's so much of this context out here that'll feel very different than math class. So what I would like to focus on, and every stats class is going to be very different, but for me, the biggest thing is connecting this with your life. I want you to walk away from this class seeing things in your relationships, seeing things in your other classes, seeing things in your daily life decisions that all like make you see connections with stats and how stats can make those areas of your life even better. I want you to get really good practice. A lot of times, students will say the most valuable part of the course is the tools that they gain. You're going to be, I'm going to push you pretty hard in spreadsheets to learn some pretty amazing things, really, that few undergrads outside of statistics majors would learn. And I'm not so worried about formulas. In fact, I think there's one or two formulas maybe we use in the whole class, and I'll give those to you anytime you want them, even on an exam. To me, that's not really important. What's important is that you can think statistically, that you can take a situation and analyze the ways in which it was done and the pros and cons of that way. Stats anxiety is a thing. It's even separate than math anxiety. I want to do whatever I can to lower that anxiety. So I've stripped out all the midterms in this class, replaced them with low stakes quizzes or even day-to-day kind of things that really should lower that anxiety. Um, and options also, if you're willing to put in the time and effort to do some extra spreadsheet learning, then you can lower the weight of your final exam. And if you have other ways that would help lower your anxiety, just let me know. I want this to be a pleasant experience for you. I think it really can be because of all the possibility it has to improve quality of life. Um, so on the flip side, if you are looking for a class that is very theoretical, very formula centric, very mathematical, you may want to consider going into Stat 220 instead. It will give you a lot more of the theoretical basis, and I don't think there's really a prereq as long as you're willing to work and there's some packet there. So if you would prefer to do that instead of being in descriptive, just talk with me and I can figure that out what to do. So it is a difficult class, especially compared to other 100 level classes, but I try to make sure that there's a very, very clear path to success. For example, in the final exam, I'm going to give you all of the potential questions beforehand, more than, or actually on the exams. You will have to study a bit more, but if you're willing to study through those to ask questions about what you want, I mean, you'll do well on the final exam. If you're willing to put the time and effort in the spreadsheet assignments, it's fine to check them with me. It's fine to ask the tutor for help, to work together as long as you understand what you're doing. So as long as you're putting in the effort, you will succeed in this class. It doesn't matter what your background is with math. Again, that's a fairly small part. It's more about managing your time and putting in that effort. One thing I did, at one point emailed several students who aced the class, who did really well in the class, and I just asked them what tips would you give students entering the class. So one person said they always read the book before class. In this case, I've now taken out the book. I will give you a book if you prefer to have one, but I'm going to give you these videos, and so I would say watching the videos now before class. Working with friends, I think this person made it fun and being very careful not to just copy or have someone dominate those study sessions, but it to be a mutually beneficial thing. This is a really good one here. Whenever you take any kind of assessment, not just in this class, focusing on the things you got wrong afterwards. It can be painful and uncomfortable, but it's really the best way of progressing and learning and fixing those misconceptions. Asking me or the tutor or someone else for help if you can't figure out why a question was wrong. That's really how you grow, more than focusing on what you got right. And asking lots of questions, that ties in with the previous one. Absolutely. That's a great way. I would agree with all of these pieces of advice.